Welcome to Mainstream with Harpreet Singh Toor. आप सबको प्यार भरी सत श्री अकाल, नमस्कार, आदाब and shalom. And like I always say, please stay in touch, stay in contact. Call me, text me at or email me at hstoor@gmail.com. And so that, it's always good to stay in touch and keeping abreast of the situation, the new issues. And also the conversation is always good. Doesn't matter whether you agree with the person or not. That's not the issue. Issue is always about having a conversation so that you can have a dialogue and you can try to figure out who stands where and what could be the middle ground where you can meet. So having said that, today, even though I did not mention much about Indian elections and what is happening in the elections in India, excuse me, there are 2-3 things which I am going to share with you today, because the current Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Punjab. He visited Patiala and he probably visited other places also, and he made a couple of statements. So before I do any comments on the statements, which was one lie after another, for me, it just does not behove for a prime minister of such a big country with such a big GDP to just lie just because he wanted the votes. And that is what for me is disturbing. I'm going to talk about that. And also, even though I'm not endorsing any particular party, but I'm going to put some question marks on certain ways the people in Punjab, they vote and why they vote, and they need to look at it once again before they go in for voting on the weekend, because still there is a time they can watch the show, they can look at it, and maybe they can actually make up their mind based on that who they should be voting for. To begin with, let me say this thing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he claimed that one of the Panj Pyaras came from his bloodline. All of a sudden, those Panj Pyaras of Guru Gobind Singh Ji are also part of the political discourse here, just because the BJP wanted the votes and those ignorant and innocent Sikhs to follow and emotionally get attached and vote for Bharatiya Janata Party. I don't see anything beyond that. This is something, this is where a lot of politics collide with the realities. And this is one of the reasons why the people, when you talk to the people, when you go out and you have conversations with them, they tell you, oh, I don't like politics. But they don't understand one thing, that you may not like politics, but your life is always dictated by the politics. So you have no option but one, that get involved, try to understand and get the best out of the situation, which you think will be good, not just for you as an individual, but as a community where you live in, and as a group of people, even if for your party. I have no problem. But you need to think where you need to draw the contrast, and you need to tell the party where they should, draw a line between the facts and making the fictions. Second thing, Prime Minister Modi said that had he been Prime Minister when those 92,000 army persons were actually, released those POWs during Indo-Pak War of 1971, that he definitely would have negotiated and gotten Kartarpur for the Sikhs to Indian territory. That's another big issue for me. Kartarpur Langa / Kartarpur Corridor, when it was built, Captain Amarinder Singh was the chief minister as a congressperson. Prime Minister Modi was the Prime Minister of India as a BJP person. And both of them, they tried tooth and nail not to let it happen. Why it happened? The reason was because on the Pakistan side, we have Javed Khan, who was a friend of Navjot Singh Sidhu. And it is a, product of that friendship, of that communication between them. And how it happened? Prime Minister Khan of Pakistan promised to Mr. Sidhu, and he built all the infrastructure up to the border with India. And on Indian side, Captain Amarinder was against because of Navjot Singh Sidhu, because they both were at loggerheads with each other. And Prime Minister Modi, of course, doesn't matter what he says, he didn't like it because he doesn't want anything to do with where the Punjab, the East Punjab Punjabis will prosper, because if the trade takes place between East and West Punjab, both sides of the border, the people will be happy. But they never wanted it. After that was done up to the border, they had no choice but politically to make the border crossing accessible. If Prime Minister Modi is such a generous person, why there is a fee to visit? Why they charge the fee on the Indian side when you go in there to visit the Kartarpur Gurdwara? Just a simple question. Which means what? Which means literally the people who really don't know this thing, they are being hoodwinked or they are being lied to so that they can vote for BJP. Another thing, when Punjab was created, Punjab Reorganization Act of 1966, that's when the current Punjab took place, when Himachal and Haryana was created out of Punjab. In the first session, I think that at that time the Chief Minister was Gurmukh Singh. He wanted to make Punjabi as a language of the Secretariat. The mother party of BJP, Jan Sangh, before it became Bharatiya Janata Party, they opposed it tooth and nail, and they said that if that happens, we will bring the government down. Because they were partner in the government. And these are the facts which you can go back and check. I started checking these facts only after the Prime Minister made this comment about Kartarpur Sahib Corridor that he would have done in 1971. My dad was in army. My dad was in that area. He was in Chicken Neck. We didn't know whether he was alive or dead at that time. So I sort of like, as a curiosity, I started looking at it that, okay, let me find out some of the facts about whatever statements he's making while he's visiting Punjab. Now, on top of that, there were two Akali MLAs who at that point told openly, if this resolution is not presented in the Vidhan Sabha, they will resign. Show me a single principled MLA today. Doesn't matter which party we are talking about, whether that's AAP, Congress, or BJP or Akali Dal or Bahujan Samaj Party. Name me a single MLA who is fighting based on the principle that, okay, this is what the principle is and this is what it is, and if it is not accepted, if it is not implemented, I'm going to resign. It is more about opportunism, who is giving you more in the shape of power one way or the other, and you go to that party. And then when Guru Nanak Dev University was being constituted and established, Jan Sangh at that time fought against it tooth and nail in Punjab. They wanted DAV College Jalandhar to made a university and make the colleges in Amritsar and Jalandhar and that part of the state affiliated with the DAV College University. They never wanted Guru Nanak Dev University to get established. These are the facts. Next, when a university was established, Guru Granth Sahib Sikh University, it was supposed to be a Punjab Sikh University or Sikh University of Punjab. It was opposed tooth and nail again. Banaras Hindu University is acceptable. Aligarh Muslim University is acceptable, even though there is a consistent fight against that minority from the BJP and the Prime Minister day in, day out. And why a Sikh university cannot be established? They had to make it Guru Granth Sahib Sikh University, because they just don't want to give anything. And it is, I have to give my hats off to those people in Punjab and outside of Punjab who actually fight tooth and nail to get these things done. Whether they are happening, they are not happening the way they wanted it, but at least something is happening. Now let us go to the other parts of the campaign. Akali Dal, which used to represent the interest of the Sikhs, I'm sorry to say that Prakash Singh Badal actually, yes, he was the longest serving Chief Minister of Punjab, but at the same time, he did the most damage to the Sikhs as a community than anybody I can think of. Now Sukhbir Badal, who actually inherited that party, is doing even, I don't know what to say here, except he put up a candidate, Anil Joshi, from Amritsar as an Akali Dal candidate. Anil Joshi was the president of the Bajrang Dal faction of Amritsar district. And Bajrang Dal is, by its core propaganda, core adoption of what they want to do, they are anti-Sikhs. So here is Akali Dal, who claims that we represent the interest of the Sikhs, who actually did not get into an electoral agreement with the BJP based on, by claiming that our demands where the Sikhs' interests were paramount to them, they were not met by the BJP, and that's why they are fighting the election on their own. Whatever happened, BJP and Akali Dal, they fell apart and everything. And I got to admire one thing about the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. that whenever he went to visit the former Chief Minister Prakash Singh Badal when he was in the hospital, he touched his feet. When he died, he attended his funeral. You know, that is a culturally, yes, but when a politician of that stature goes in and touches the feet, people look at it from a different perspective. They are like, well, look at this, you know, the person, he is a prime minister, but he's you know, touching the feet of, you know, a person who is not up to his level political office wise. No, it was all politics. Modi would have never touched the feet had he not felt the need to get the blessings of some of the Sikhs to do that. Modi, the Prime Minister Modi also visited Patna during these elections. It shocks me to say and think about it that in Patna, Prime Minister Modi never claimed that one of the Panj Pyara came from Gujarat, because Patna actually is one of the 5 takhats of the Sikhs. So, what are we talking about? All of a sudden, he just got up and decided to say that. Chandigarh. It was supposed to be transferred over to Punjab after the reorganization in 1966 and 1971 after 5 years. And today, even more than 50 years after that, Chandigarh is still disputed, and everybody, even Himachal, is now claiming part of Chandigarh. If Prime Minister Modi was such a generous person and he really cared about the Sikhs, he would have done something while he had such a big majority in the parliament. He had terminated the MPs, not terminated, suspended the MPs from the parliament so that he can push through some of the legislative agendas. But he could not do this as a gesture that, okay, you know, Punjabis has done so much for the country, let me do something. You know, that is something which baffles me, that Sikhs have contributed so much to get India where India is. Still, Sikhs are not given due respect and what is there by right. They are not begging for anything extra. They are just asking to give them what is theirs, and it is not being done. Moreover, you know, in this election, we have a lot of other Ayaram, Gairam, you know, the AAP, Aam Aadmi Party MP from Jalandhar, he switched back over to, I think he is with the BJP now, because Congress candidate is not KP anymore. So, KP shifted, he went to AAP, and honestly, I don't know who is the current candidate from. Again, that is what happens. I don't know. I even don't know who's which party Rinku is running from, who was the previous MP from Jalandhar. You know, in Patiala, Maharani is running as a BJP candidate. Okay. Captain Amrinder, when he left Congress, you know, when the things fell apart when he was the chief minister, they were falling apart for some time, because there was never a, you know, cordial relationship between you know, Rahul Gandhi and Captain. And then there came a time when Captain literally resigned from the chief minister, because the Congress was planning to replace him. So before they replaced him, he resigned from the chief ministership, and then he resigned from the Congress, and later on he joined the BJP. Now he was with the BJP, Maharani was still with Congress. Then the questions were raised about her. Now they are husband and wife. It used to be normal that, okay, you can be from one party, you can be from another party. We will not discuss the politics in the house. We will live in the house as husband and wife, as a couple, but we will play our politics our way. Not anymore. So she elbowed out from Congress and she got BJP ticket. And there is a probability because she actually have real good links with the population. People in Patiala, they respect her, they like her. She is very much a likable person, no doubt about it. I had a chance to meet her once right here in New York, and that's when I found out that she really is a very much likable person, and she may end up winning Patiala seat for BJP, but it is not guaranteed. Interestingly, had the Congress kept her, probably they have retained that seat, the Patiala seat, as a Congress seat. But then again, who am I? I don't know. I don't know the politics. I just know the facts, what the facts are, how they should be looked at, how the people, they should actually look at the facts before they decide who to vote for. Now, another issue which is very important in this election, which was the farmers' protest. I'm not talking about the current protest, I'm talking about the one which happened during the COVID time. Those laws were passed, yes, those laws were taken back. But other issues, they were never implemented because the government has to implement it. And it is the farmers who actually benefit from that. And somehow the government does not want those benefits to the farmers. I will be wrapping up the program a bit early today, so my apologies for that, but let's go over a few things which are left over before the election, because my next program will be after the elections, and probably we would know by then which party stands. We're talking about Jalandhar constituency before I took the break. Okay, here are the candidates. Sushil Kumar Rinku, who actually won for AAP, which was Jalandhar constituency, was always with the Congress, except during 1977 election, it went to Mr. Tillon at that time, but otherwise it was always a Congress seat. So Sushil Kumar Rinku actually won for Aam Aadmi Party in the by-election. Now he jumped over to BJP. So now he is a candidate of BJP. Charanjit Singh Channi is a Congress candidate, the former Chief Minister of Punjab. And I got to give him a credit that he is with the Congress and he rose from the lower ranks of the party, working his way up, being a leader at the local level, then becoming an MLA, then becoming a chief minister. Got to give him a credit for that. And Aam Aadmi Party pulled in Pawan Kumar Tinu, because I'm not in Punjab for so long now. I have no idea who this Pawan Kumar Tinu is. But then again, this is something which the people need to decide. But when they go out to vote, just remember that how Jan Sangh / BJP actually is damaging the interest of the Punjab. Just be careful about it. What Akali Dal is doing, honestly, I don't know which party to recommend at this point. But what I'm saying is, if you really want to make an honest choice, look at the credibility of the candidate, not the party. But one party I definitely will not, if I'm one of the electoral guy who is going to cast my vote will never go to Jan Sangh / BJP based on what they have not delivered or they have never asked for the issues of Punjab. Never. Recently they have started talking a little bit about it because they just want to make inroads into the Punjab. They have not been able to. And that's why they are doing what they are doing. So, based on all these factors, you need to look at before you vote. Then, as we go further into further discussion about when I was talking about the things which Prime Minister Modi said throughout his campaign, from day one when he got elected, even when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, at that point, he actually did, whether we like it or don't like it, he actually did let that carnage happen in Gujarat, the Godhra Kand. That actually reminds me a very interesting conversation which I had with somebody before Prime Minister Narendra Modi became the Prime Minister, and I'm talking about either December of 2013 or January of 2014. I got off LIRR train, Long Island Railroad, right here in New York. I got off at Hicksville, and there was a gentleman from Gujarat, and he got off from the same train, and I was waiting for the bus, which he was planning to get on the same bus. And we said hi to each other and asked how is the health, how is family. And after that, all of a sudden, he threw up a question to me that what do you think about Narendra Modi? And I said to him, I said, honestly, I don't think I do like him. And he was like, why? Why you don't like him? And I said to him, I said, because the reason is he literally let the Sikh farmers from Gujarat being kicked out from their properties without getting due compensation. And this Gujarati gentleman turned around to me and he said, well, अरे भाई वो जगह तो हमारी है ना. And I said to him, I said, then what are you doing here in America? Go back. So I don't know where to draw the line on these things, because this is something which never has a good ending unless there is something happens where both the parties can say that, okay, you know what, this is where it was something which was wrong and everything. And on top of that, the people being targeted, the Sikhs being targeted in United States under the Prime Ministership of Narendra Modi, that is a no-no for anyone in any country. Yes, they talk about the United States going out and killing, but then you have to look at also in a way that US does it only in neutral territory, not in any particular territory, except Bin Laden, which they were openly looking for, and they went in to Pakistan, and at that time Pakistan had given full access to United States. Circumstances have to be looked at. And also there is one more factor, which actually makes me wonder, which I was talking before the break about the farmers' protest and current farmers' protest. when it happened in 2020 and 2021, at that point the government did everything to portray those farmers who were protesting peacefully, to label them as terrorists who are out there to destroy India. You know, what is always surprising to me is that whenever a demand is, raised by the Punjabis in general and the Sikhs in particular, in Punjab it is always the Sikhs, because Punjabi Hindus, they don't demand anything. The only issue is that, Punjabi is not our language, Punjab is not ours. Even though they have lived there for generations, for centuries and centuries, millennials, but they still do not accept Punjab as their own land. I have no idea why. I can understand political differences, but when it comes down to those kind of differences, I really don't get it. So, every time a demand is raised, they are labeled as terrorists. Look at this Mandi board collection. Mandi board collection amount, which is lying with the federal government, with the central government in India, that is not being released to Punjab state. And here we have the Prime Minister who comes to the Punjab, on the land of Punjab. He claims that he cares about the Punjabis, he loves the Sikhs, he cares about the Sikhs, because one of the Panj Pyara came from his bloodline from Gujarat. I am trying to make understand. I have no idea. I don't know how to connect those dots. Maybe somebody can connect those dots for me. So at the end of today's show, like I said, I will be wrapping up a bit early. Before I make the final comments on Punjab situation, there is definitely one thing which I want to talk here about. The things happening in Israel and Gaza. Even though Bibi Netanyahu, Bibi Netanyahu did say, created a safe zone for the refugees, but they still got bombed and got killed. And he, typical political statement, apologize, it was by mistake, it will get investigated, and guess what? Even if it gets investigated, nobody will get punished, because that one of the press reporter from a Palestinian press reporter, she was targeted intentionally and was killed by a sharpshooter, and nobody got penalized for that, even though the government's own investigations have found that, but because the laws they made are such that they cannot prosecute their own person. So, talk about equality. Okay. Again, I don't like what Hamas did, but I don't like what is happening there right now either. Number two, the hush money trial in New York of Donald Trump. It came to a close. The closing arguments were given out today. It is going to go to jury. I don't know. Jury will take 1 day, 2 days, 2 hours, 3 days before they come out with a verdict. We will see to that. But doesn't matter which way it goes. Trump is a person who never admits that he was wrong or he did anything wrong, and he will always go on offense either way. A person who is already making the statements against any judge who takes over his case. His university, Trump University, was raided. He paid fine for that. He collected funds for veterans, never spent a dime on that, and then he had to refund that. We can go on and on and on, but I think it is a wastage of time, because there are people who are blindly following him. We need to look at the honesty and integrity in the politics, and if it is not there, then America is no different than any other country when we talk down about other countries, what is happening. For me, from that perspective, even if China has one party policy, when you talk about China, oh, China has one party policy. Yeah, they have one party policy, but they have that policy. Over here, we have a democracy and electoral process, and the whole process has been undermined, and still people don't get it. January 6 happened. The whole thing about January 6 has been changed around in 4 years. The people who, like Josh Hawley, who were running for their own life at that time on January 6, they are saying, oh, these were peaceful people. Yeah, they were. If they were peaceful people, then why you did not go to them and talk to them and had a conversation with them? Why you were running for your life, Mr. Senator? So, to me, those are the things which literally bother me. Yeah, is it frustrating? Yeah, it is frustrating. But that frustration should not be the reason to make insane decisions about the future, because the future of our country, the future of our kids, it depends on what we decide and how we decide it. Same way, when you go to vote in Punjab on June 1st, think about it. You should be thinking about it that out of this vote, whether I am voting for a Jansanghiya or a Bajrang Dali candidate, or a candidate or a person who has actually literally worked for the welfare of the community in Punjab, worked for the welfare of the Punjabis. And sometime, I personally admire Captain Amarinder Singh irrespective of his switching the party and everything. Why? Because to some point he had principles. Yeah, right now today, I don't know, but he was a principled guy to some point, and he did based on principles. And I still remember when Prakash Singh Badal literally refused to give him a ticket for MLA when he was forced to go back to Congress, which he never wanted to. He actually resigned from Congress at that point. But then he put the Congress together and he became the Chief Minister of Punjab by defeating the then Chief Minister of Punjab, Prakash Singh Badal, who refused him to give even a ticket for an MLA. Even though they have some of the common interest, but still. And also, let us not forget another thing, I always talk about it, 1965 war, Captain Amarinder Singh was the guy who actually literally went back into the army. He had come out of the army on a pension because he retired as a captain. That's why he's called Captain Amarinder Singh, but he went back before the war. And he was there with the Western CNC, Harbaksh Singh, which saved the Punjab, which Punjab today we are living in and breathing in, we are talking about. Irrespective of which party you belong to, you need to look at those things, and that is something which I am expecting. The Punjabis, when they go out to vote, they should be looking at all these factors. You have a proud history, and make yourself proud by voting for the right candidate. Don't vote based on who gives you money or the liquor, which happens there openly. I know that, and you know that. Having said that, good night and good luck.